Hello everybody, I'm Ernesto, but a lot of you probably know me as Ernie. I'm a third year studying software engineering and your current executive vice president. I want to take a moment to thank you guys for being here. It's a long night. I genuinely do mean it because I never imagined myself up here 3 years ago. And saying that now, I feel kind of old. But it's been a blast. Through SHPE, I've been given opportunities, friendships, experiences that I genuinely don't think I would have found anywhere else. And it's something I don't take lightly. I served as your executive vice president, and I have a privilege to have been that. I had a blast being the vice president and helping you all through professional and social aspects. I enjoyed my time at the club fairs, even if they were outside and I had to be in the scorching heat. Or maybe if you were at Honeywell Day, I probably recruited you there too. But still, I met a lot of amazing people, and a lot of them are still in this room, so I'm glad you guys stuck around. I enjoyed also preparing for you guys for the national convention with resume workshops, mock interviews, and the new mock career fair that we tried out this year. Getting to end my term, I had time to reflect on what I could do as president. I want to explain why I want to run for president, and it's a lot more than just because I was a repeat. There's a lot more to that. I've been with SHPE for 3 years now. I joined my freshman year, first semester, but I didn't get involved until my spring semester, just because I was a shy guy. I wanted to stay alone my first semester. Second semester, I was like, I should probably talk to these people. So I started getting involved, and I volunteered for ALEX, which was the main reason I actually joined SHPE in the first place, because I actually went to ALEX when I was in high school, my junior year. And I really enjoyed the message they had at ALEX, which is like, we want to get high scores interested in engineering and STEM, so we have to do it in high school before they get to college. So after volunteering, I knew I wanted to join eBoard to give back to the community who helped me adapt to the college life. So I ran for ALEX. If you look back at the videos, I did not get the position, but that didn't stop me at all. I wanted to go further. So the next year, I decided I wanted to go to the 2024 SHPE National Convention. Heard a lot of amazing things. I didn't go my freshman year, I went my sophomore. And it helped me strengthen me into the SHPE culture and the engineering world. So I ran for executive vice president to make sure that the next group of people had as well as the experience I had at my 2024 National Convention. So I'm now here running for president, because I know it can guide SHPE forward and create even more opportunities for you all. I know it can continue the ideas this current eBoard created and make sure they are around for many years to come. And I know that after many years of being in SHPE and growing my leadership style, I know I can be the leader that SHPE requires to grow. So, it's been talked about already today, but one thing I want to talk about is the SHPE team director role and actually fleshing it out. Because right now it's kind of its molding phase. It's a fresh position, and we need to figure out exactly what the vision for this position is going to be. So, I want to congratulate everyone who's running for the position. You guys all had amazing ideas today, but I also want to say thank you to our current SHPE chair, I believe. She did a really good job posting as many socials as she can and all the professional events she had, and creating that great foundation that's going to allow us to actually flesh out this position next year. So I want to focus on having that vision ready and making it more impactful for everyone, the director and the members. I want to make sure that this position is more than just social, but a time for growth. So a lot of you already touched upon that, so I won't go any more into that. Another great idea I want is focusing on getting new members comfortable with how SHPE works, what events we have, where information is, building a group of people where you can just sit down and talk to at any of our events. I want an easy way for someone who just joined the middle semester to feel welcomed and not be lost and expected to know everything what SHPE is. This can be in the form of talking to a new member, explaining the Google Calendar or Discord, simply just by inviting them to an event the next day, being like, hey, we have this event tomorrow, do you want to go? Just word of mouth. SHPE is one of the more welcoming clubs in my opinion, but coming alone can be intimidating. I want to work my next eBoard to find events that are close to campus or on campus. Last year we had some events like the hockey game. People really enjoyed that. We had a couple moments this year as well with field day and snakes and lattes, but those were hosted by us. I want an event where we can just go as a group and have a good time. No need to find a host. We just find a time at the Sunlink, walk together or something, and just go to some a random event happening in Tucson. It doesn't have to be someone's house, and so you're not intimidated to go and find a ride, or you don't know the person who's hosting, so you're not going to go. So I want to be focusing on that. Another great idea that has already been starting is with the GBM style changing. Marcel's done a great job making sure that companies are actually in person, so I want to thank him for that. But obviously, some sponsors are not able to, which is completely fine. But when we have them in person, we've started telling them, be more interactive. I want to be more thorough with the interactive aspect. A lot of them just give a sheet or do the speed dating. I like the speed dating idea. I want to keep that as well, But when it came to like lighting tournament, they gave you like the blueprint idea for Taco Bell. I really like that. I want to have more companies do that, and fleshing out the different aspects in different industries would be allowing for different hands-on activities, similar to like the blueprint idea or speed dating. So I want to focus on that. But I also want to focus on the UA resources we have here. We're like I forgot the term for it, but we're one of the bigger like research colleges. You can find like a whole website of all the opportunities, and it's a really easy way to get experience. So we can bring like advisors or current lab PIs to like talk about their labs and get you guys interested. Maybe recruit you guys here. Just because if you're a freshman and you're trying to get internships, it's kind of hard without experience. So obviously the research positions are actually a really good way to get that experience. I know from firsthand. The last thing I want to focus on is creating a stronger pipeline for our members to get internships and full-time opportunities. In the past, we had a resume bank filled with resumes from our GBM members that sponsors would have exclusive access to. I want to bring more attention to that for you guys to fill out, but also for the companies to be reminded like that exists. Look for our what our members seek, what they have, what experiences they have, because you guys have experiences that they look for. And bringing light to that and having an exclusive resume bank does bring you guys to more of a higher standard. So I want to allow also for more social gatherings with professionals in a more relaxed way to network, because talking up to GBMs is kind of hard. You know, they're up here and you're like, oh, I'm here for questions, guys. But it's kind of hard walking up to them. So if they was just like a one-on-one like coffee thing, or just like you and a couple buddies like walking up to a table with a certain industry, it makes it much easier to talk to them. I have a lot of ideas, and executing them is my top priority, but just as importantly, I'm committed to building on these ideas that this year's e-board has already started. I want to ensure that my e-board feels comfortable in the positions that they are in. I want to be the support system my board will need, but also my GBM. I know with everything SHPE has done for me, I will be able to set a higher standard for myself and for the board to follow. Thank you. So I think one aspect is probably the communication that scares a lot of people off. If you don't know what's going on, you're not going to show up. GBMs are our biggest events, of course, but some people can't make it. I know like half of the Mechis, like Mondays is a specific class time. I know a lot of other majors have the same problem. And so making sure like things that, these events that we have going on, the socials we have going on, we give ample time for when they're happening. That's one big aspect of communication, but also just recruitment. We fight, like Charles and everyone else has been talking today, that we fight against like the tech focus clubs, like technical clubs, and we're a professional club, and you can do both. Sure, it's more demanding to have two clubs at the same time, but you can definitely do it, and explain to the members that you can you can do the volunteering aspect of SHPE, you can do the professional aspect of SHPE, or the social aspect of SHPE. Those technical clubs are purely just technical. They do have a community with them. You can grow into them. I feel like SHPE is mostly community, social, and professional.
You brought up that this past year there have been a lot of majors that have forced classes at the same time as GBM. Would you be open to changing the time of GBM, making sure that we can allow more students to show up for you?
It comes to more of a need. So if I see the need and I hear the voices, I will definitely keep it into consideration. One thing you really want to look out for is making it as accessible for everyone. You can't, like I know it's been a tradition to keep it on Mondays. Sometimes tradition got to change, you know? The aspect of SHPE is changing, the dynamic of SHPE is changing, and adapting to it is a more important part of doing that. The things we've added this year, they're great. It's because we're adapting, and if we adapt further with the demands of our club, that's how you're going to grow the club. Yes.
So sometimes Prez has to be the bad guy when people don't necessarily do their jobs as expected. So what's your plan if that situation was to arise?
Yeah, so I want to focus more on like making sure, one, you can hold me accountable. I might be scary, but like I mess up all the time, and I'll count for it. If I can just own up my mistakes, I'll do that. If someone else is messing up, it's more just, hey, do you want to meet? Or like, hey, what's going on? Because you never know. It's first things first. I don't want to like be like, oh, they're not doing a good job. I want to be able to like make that personal connection, know who they are, know what's going on before I can make an assumption like, oh, it's because of this. Yes.
Obviously, as president, you are going to be the face of SHPE, not just for members, but for also professional organizations and companies. How are you planning on leveraging those professional companies and different professionals in the field, especially with SHPE UA, to bring in more money and bring in more sponsors?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate enough with the partnership that Michelle has already started with SWE and their connections. that we are able to have more connections with different companies. When it comes to making ourselves stand out, it's the form of the sponsorship pack that we have, adding more perks into that and highlighting what our club does. I really like the idea of giving them bi-weekly updates on what we're doing, what events they could be joining in on. So instead of, I know we have our personal connections for events like Science Day and ALEX. Instead we could send out the sponsorship and be like, hey, before we ask our own personal connections, are you guys interested in joining this? This would entail, and just explaining what the event is and what the purpose of the event is. Yes.
All right. So, as someone who loves to talk, I know everybody else also loves to talk. We've heard a lot of great points from all the candidates tonight. We're hearing a lot of great points from you. We're going to hear a lot of great points from the other candidate. I want to know, for you personally, the guarantee you can give the GBM members in this room tonight and the people who watch these videos, how do we know that all these great things we're talking about and all these improvements will go into effect, will be executed on, and how do we know they'll be organized correctly so they're actually done?
Like that. So I'm gonna sound really engineering right now, and I hate it, but that's how I am. So it's the idea of just, if you're gonna implement a lot of things, we've heard many things, many plans, many actions that we wanna execute. You need to start in small, bite-sized things. So when it came to the mock career fair this year, I had an idea for a huge event, right? Obviously, I needed to keep it small. If I went big, more problems would happen. It wouldn't probably execute as well as I have, and the feedback I would get would not be helpful. So keeping it small scope would be the most effective way. When it comes to all, I give you a lot of promises, right? It's more keeping it bite-sized, making an official plan. The best way is just calendar or a notion of exactly what we should be doing, the status update, and checking on everyone, hey, you promised this, what's the update on that?
Do we have time for one more question? So I have another question. You mentioned, and I know a lot of other people have mentioned tonight, communication being a huge thing. Generally, it could be a problem, it could be a great thing. Communication. It factors into retention, it factors into allowing our members to know when things are happening, and like you said, organize plans. I know there have been, as a current board member, I know that Discord is sometimes an inefficient way to get information to the mass of shit. How can you fix this problem going forward so we can use this awesome communication, all the great stuff we're doing, and actually let everybody know that it's happening?
All right, so first things first, it's knowing when these events are happening, not having a last minute announcement hey guys, this is happening today, right? Claudia, I'm sorry, you're really booked and busy, but the idea is an idea that I had was more like a marketing director, committee meeting. It doesn't have to be just one person controlling Instagram. We all have access to it. As eBoard, we all have access to it, but also doesn't have to be an eBoard thing, it could be a GBM thing where they volunteer and help make sure that every day with the event going on, we post it on our story, post it on Instagram, have it on the Discord. It doesn't just have to be an eBoard position where, hey, this is your weekly spit of what's going on. It can be a GBM thing where hey, GBM is given permission to make the announcement for today. We look it over and they're able to announce what's going on for the week. Or also another thing is the Discord being messy. It's more talking to people about what is the most efficient way to organize the Discord, or more efficient way of what is our main demographic. Is it the newsletter? Is it the Instagram? Is it the Discord? So figuring out where people are getting the information from, and then dissecting that into more of a more efficient way to get that information out.
Sweet, thank you.